All right, y'all. Let's watch a couple more Iman Gadzhi clips before we head out. Which ones look good? Let's look at the most popular. Do this. Make 10,000 as a student. Dopamine detox. 7 principles. These kind of look the same, but I like this title better. How teenagers can make $1 million. 7 money tips. I know a lot of people who have bad financial literacy. Let's watch this one.
You watch all these motivational videos. I mean, hey, so you want to become a millionaire. So you watch all of the Tony Robbins seminars. You watch all these motivational videos. I mean, hey, you even think that your TikTok is a great place to get financial education.
Been there, done that.
In today's video, I'm going to share 7 personal money tips that I would give to you after 7 years of running a business and making tens of millions of dollars. And most importantly, I'm going to share stuff that you probably won't find anywhere else, because I'm not going to tell you, oh, don't buy Starbucks because, you know, heavens forbid you spend $4 on a coffee because you can make it for 30 cents at home. I'm not going to give you any stupid scarcity-based advice that's built specifically for people that have no self-belief, no belief that they can actually go on and accomplish anything in life. No, I'm going to give you 7 practical things that you can and should implement from today. So the first step, if you want to become a millionaire, is stop drinking. Now, I actually have a funny story about my first ever tattoo. It says, "My cup runneth over." Now, my cup runneth.
Do y'all agree with that? I don't drink, so maybe that correlates. But I know successful guys that drink all the time. So, I don't know. Let's see what he has to say about it.
Over means I have more than I need, I'm abundant, but it always used to serve a fun double purpose. Because in the first few years of starting my business, I was not drinking. Now, whenever someone tried to get me to drink or try to encourage me to drink, of course I politely declined. And if it kept going, I used to joke with people that didn't know me. I went, listen, I'm a recovering alcoholic, I can't drink. And of course, because I was young, they're like, you're lying, you're joking. And then I used to show them this tattoo. And I used to say, I have this tattoo that says my cup runneth over, because, you know, my cup was always overflowing with alcohol. And it was funny because at that point they would always get super apologetic. So anyways, the reason I tell you this story is just because it brings back memories of the first couple years of my business when I hadn't made $1 million yet. I hadn't made $1 million after tax. I wasn't a millionaire. And in that time, I did not drink for 2 reasons. First of all, think about how much money you have wasted, how much money you have spent on you.
Okay, I was just about to say that. Yeah, like, if you're not where you want to be at, maybe you shouldn't be drinking and smoking. Like, I have a lot of friends who, when I break down the math on, I'm like, you guys go out every single weekend. You spend at least $30 on drinks a night. You spend $30 on your vape pen, or $40 a weekend. I don't know how much it is. But when you calculate that for the last 3-4 years they've been an adult, it comes to a lot of money that they could invest it into themselves. So that's actually a solid point. If you're broke, don't waste your money on this stuff.
Useless drinks at the bar, shots. So not only from a financial perspective, and you know, I told you earlier in this video, I think it is absolutely ridiculous that people are so dumb to think, oh, you know how I'm gonna become a millionaire? I'm gonna save on my $4 coffee. It's honestly some of the stupidest shit I have ever heard, and I guarantee you any really high-level successful person will never give you advice like that. Whereas for alcohol, I would say don't spend money on it if you are trying to become the person that you want to become. Because listen, that's $4 compared to $40, $80, $150. You know, let's say you're having a fun night. You buy 5 cocktails for yourself. $15 a pop, great, $75. Let's say you cover it for your friend. You get a little drunk, you get a little woozy, and you're like, you know what? I'll get this one. Great, you've just wasted $150 on alcohol. And don't forget, you would have had to earn something closer to, depends on where you live, $200 to $250 in order to actually make that money, because the rest goes to tax. So not only have you spent all of this money on alcohol, you have then woken up with less capacity to think clearly and less capacity to actually make money and make your way to that millionaire status. Now, ladies and gentlemen, me at the stage that I'm at, I have a long track record in business. I have the most incredible team. Between all of my companies, I have over 150 employees. So luckily, if I want to have a drink here and there, it doesn't really change my life, and it doesn't really affect things. When you get to a certain position in life, that doesn't mean that you should ever slow down. You still need to put your foot on the gas. But what it does mean is that you can do things slightly differently. So if you are serious about becoming a millionaire this year, quit drinking. Now, the best tip to become a millionaire is learn a high income skill. And this is why I keep beating on about that example of the $4 coffee. Because listen, people who are hell bent on the whole saving thing, for sure, I respect it. I just personally believe that I don't want to live a life of scarcity. I don't want to live a life where I don't have faith in my abilities to make more money, I think if you're watching this video, you should understand the goal is to make as much money as humanly possible. And by the way, that doesn't mean you need to be an entrepreneur. That doesn't mean you need to be a business owner. If you join the right organization, not some old corporation, some stale company that's 50 years old and all they care about is just doing things in a safe, predictable way. I mean, if you join a real good company, for example, there's people in my company who make hundreds of thousands of dollars, almost nearly $1 million a year, because they provide even far more value than that to the company. And the way that you do that is by learning a high income skill. So whether that be sales, whether that be copywriting, whether that be content creation, whether that be, and this sounds really funny, but I can tell you, as I said, having 150 plus.
This is super facts right here. Like, guys, if you guys don't have any skills, the only jobs you guys can get is fast food, somewhere in the restaurant industry, and those require skills too. That's communicative skills or communicative skills. But in entrepreneurship, you gotta probably be good at sales. You gotta probably be good at being a visionary. Guys, instead of going to the bar, invest in yourself. Go buy books, go buy courses, invest in skills and growing your skills, because this is what's really gonna translate into you making money. You have to be able to bring value to the table. If that's you starting a business or you trying to partner with somebody that's higher than you, or you're trying to get into a certain room, you have to have some sort of intrinsic value to go in with. And probably it's not gonna be money because you're trying to get rich. So your value to give is going to be how valuable on a skill set basis you are. There's too many people that I know, even if you guys go to college, it's like there's just a lot of people with no skills. Like, I wouldn't hire a lot of people out of college. Sure, you could give your homework on time, but that doesn't translate to a lot of things. Like, you need to be actively in the field building your skills.
That having 150 plus employees, and there's one specific person that comes to mind. If you are a wizard at Google Sheets and you can put together very good analytics tracking, that is a high income skill, and that's something that is very valuable to most companies. So if you're a little confused on which high income skill is the best in this day and age and which business model is the best one to start this year, well, then I'm going to leave a link in the description to my most popular YouTube video. I break down the 8 or 9 best business models and try to use an equation and math to come to a conclusion of which one makes the most sense for you to start. I use a formula and an equation to get to the bottom of which business model makes the most sense for you to start this year. So I'll go ahead and leave that link in the description. Check it out once you finish this video. But I feel like I made my point very clear, which is no matter what you do, whether you're an entrepreneur, a solo...
In my personal opinion, I think the best skill to have is to be able to sell yourself or sell something. Like, anything sales. It doesn't matter if you're working for a company. It doesn't matter if you're an entrepreneur, working with another business partner. Doesn't matter what it is. Even if you're a server, you get a higher tip if your bill's usually higher, right? So on a sales point of view, you may want to bring somebody from a California roll to a special roll, and you got to really sell that special roll because your tip's going to be a lot higher at the end of the day, or a certain drink to another drink, or even get them on dessert. And if they're like, oh no, I'm too full, try to see if they're willing to take it to go or something. Like, that's all sales. I feel like that's one of the best skills to have and to work on, is to be able to sell yourself or sell something. So make sure you write that down. Work on selling yourself. You don't have to be the best talker. I'm not the best talker, and I'm really good at getting somebody to buy something from me or sell something from me. So learn sales, guys.
You do, whether you're an entrepreneur, a solopreneur, you own multiple big businesses with lots of employees like me, or you work in a company and you see a clear path to making a lot more money and you want to provide value to that company, which is why you are dedicated to learning high income and high impact skills. Whatever it is, just understand that it is far easier to get to millionaire status by increasing your earning potential rather than being scarcity minded and just thinking, oh, I'm going to save my way. Over the next 17 years, I'm just going to save my way to a millionaire. Is that really an inspiring life to you? Now, the next way to become a millionaire.
Yeah, I have so many friends that are on this mindset right here of putting $10 away every single week into a piggy bank or a fund, and it's going to be $1 million by the time they're 65. Guys, by the time you're 65, $1 million is really going to be nothing. Like, put that $10 a week or something, like, invest it into yourself, because the more valuable you are, the higher your income is going to be anyways for you to earn more most of the time.
Is have a specific amount each week that you put in a separate account to invest. Now, it's funny, in my position, I've seen so many people make millions and millions and millions of dollars, tens of millions of dollars. In fact, I even know people who have made hundreds of millions of dollars and still lost it all. So it doesn't matter if you can become a millionaire if you can't even stay a millionaire. And investing, although it is slightly tedious, it is slightly boring, will help you get to that millionaire milestone even quicker. And this is something that I even apply to this day. My CFO takes 100 grand in profits in dividends, moves that money to one of my banks, siphons it off to a specific account, and in that account, I specifically have cash reserves tucked away for investments. Now listen, of course, I have worked extremely hard over the years to get to a point where I'm putting away 100 grand a week minimum just for my investments. But it wasn't always like that. I started off with $5 a week. I remember I was 16 years old when I first read Tony Robbins' Money Master the Game. And the second I read it, I created a separate bank account. This is like literally right as my business was first starting. So I had my main account and then I had my investment account. And every week for my main account, I would just send £5 over to my investment account because I knew that if I didn't get in the habit of putting away £5 a week, I would never get in the habit of, years and decades later putting away hundreds of thousands of dollars a week into investments. So it's just about getting the habit down. Listen, in the same way, if you want to run a marathon, you're not going to lace up and run 42 kilometers. No, you're going to start off light. You're going to start off easy. And eventually your capacity will grow. In the same way your capacity to run grows, so too does your capacity to earn income and then go ahead and invest that. Now, the next money tip for you to become a millionaire is to have coffee in affluent places. Go and have a coffee in an expensive hotel or a very fancy cafe in a super nice area. Because listen, your Starbucks is gonna cost $4 and it's not gonna be very inspiring, that's for sure. Whereas you might go to a super expensive hotel. For example, here in Dubai, where I'm based, or in London, where I used to live, there's all of these nice hotels. You don't need to stay at the hotels. You don't need to spend $2,000 a night on a room. You simply go to the lobby,
I've never heard of this
and
before.
have a coffee. And the coffee might cost you $8 or $10 compared to $4, but you're gonna look around, you're gonna see money around you. You're gonna see what do wealthy people really wear. Not Gucci and Balenciaga and all this and that. I mean like really like properly wealthy people. You're gonna start to realize the really wealthy people, they wear stuff like this. Loro Piana, Zegna, Brunello, Tom Ford, these sort of brands. They wanna blend in. They don't want big logos and this and that. They don't wanna scream. So just simply through osmosis, you're gonna start to get a feeling. You're gonna start to get an understanding for how do these people move? How do they carry themselves? The funny thing is you're gonna find in a lot of good establishments, or at least I found personally, people are far more respectful to the waiters. There's a lot more please, thank you, how's your day? I've personally found that to be true, even though there's a stigma around rich people and wealthy people that they're snobs or that they're very disrespectful to staff and whatnot. I've personally never found that. I've personally found the better the establishment, the more polite people are, the more thank you, you're welcome. A very interesting thing. Here in Dubai or London or New York, you might go to some very nice cigar lounges. And as I said, you can go to a cigar lounge and you can sit there and you can literally just order a coffee. You don't need to smoke a cigar. And listen in, it's very interesting. Even just hear how wealthy people order. They order in a different way. There's a conviction. They have a different tonality in the way that they order. They even have a different pace. The pacing of what they're saying is different than if you just go to some regular, normal establishment. The next money tip for you to become
It's kind of an interesting one. I don't know if it's essential to become a millionaire, but I can see where he's coming from on that, to be honest. Like, just surrounding yourself around money or just going to a nice restaurant or a nice coffee shop, like you said. Like, you want to be able to see what rich people do and how they act. Like, are they scrolling on their phone when they're sitting down? Are they reading a book? Are they doing work while they're drinking their coffee? Like, it's just like little things to look at, or how they're treating people. I used to work at a country club, and it was kind of cool to kind of see that different economic class and just how they conversated, how they acted. But I don't know if this is essential, to be honest.
Millionaire is pay off your credit card bills as soon as humanly possible.
This is good. This is a very good one right here.
101 ways that you could get clients for your agency, coaching, or consulting business. But
you need to understand that credit card debt is one of the ways that they enslave you. It is one of the ways that they get you stuck in a perpetual loop. You need to understand that if you get into credit card debt, soon enough you're going to be spending more money on the interest and the debt than the actual amount that you owe. So before you listen to any of these other tips, before you go and spend $8 on a coffee because, you're gonna have the experience of opulence and wealth around you and all this stuff, if you have credit card debt, clear that. That should be your number one focus. Credit card.
All right, let's give you some tips right here. Now, credit cards, okay, I'm not giving any financial advice right here. I got into serious credit card debt because I kind of needed to. Not that it was a need, but when I was working my W-2 at Mattress Firm back when I was like 19 or 20 years old, I'm 22 now, when I quit it, my backup plan wasn't to get another job. My backup plan was to live off my 3 credit cards for a year. I was like, okay, I got about $10,000 to $12,000 of a credit card limit off of all 3 cards. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to go all in on my business and I'm going to get rich or die trying. This is the worst financial advice ever. Nobody would ever tell me to do this, but for me, these were my thoughts. I'm like, okay, let's say I go and live off my credit cards for a year. I'm paying my rent off credit cards or whatever, food, everything. And 12 months, I don't make a single dollar in business. Maybe I might be in $12K credit card debt, whatever. But I invested in myself the whole year, and I really tried. My thought was, I'd rather be in 12K credit card debt versus 100K college debt. And I remember at like the 8th month or 6th, I forgot what it was, but I was really deep in credit card debt. Wasn't making much money in business. Maybe did a couple deals for like $1,000 here and there, where it really wasn't enough to pay off my credit cards and paying my $500 of rent at the time. And like right at the end of that like 10 to 11 month mark, I had probably 2 months left to live. And I was like, damn, I might need another job soon. My business just started taking off, and I was able to pay everything off. Everything was fine. But yeah, I was paying maybe like $500 a month in interest too. It was bad. Don't do that. But for me, it just happened to work out. It was that no in my mind though. I knew it was going to work out. Like, that's why I did it. So credit card debt is bad though. Don't get into credit card debt.
Asset
That was just a cool little story about me.
To use, especially in a lot of Western countries, and especially if you're based in the US, but you need to understand how to use it responsibly, how to get the benefits of it. Because by the way, how do you think all these credit card companies make money? When you have all of these signing bonuses, and for example, with American Express, you rack up all these Amex points, and you can use these Amex points for benefits and upgrades and this, like, who do you think is paying for that? You need to understand that the people who are financially irresponsible and don't know how to use credit cards and make the credit card companies so much money by all of the interest that they're paying, these people are subsidizing people like me, and hopefully you, if you know how to use credit cards responsibly, they get to reap all of these rewards and all these benefits. And we're just sat here questioning and asking ourselves, why are we getting all these benefits and we basically don't even need to spend any extra money? Well, that's because all of these people were irresponsible. So please, if you have any credit card debt,
appreciate y'all, because I got a lot of points right now. And I pretty much, with my business spending every month, I eat for free. Like, I get restaurant gift cards every single week just from the points on my credit card. The Amex Gold is really good for dining in. So if you're eating out every day or you're spending money on business or whatever, I get maybe about a $50 gift card or $100 gift card every 1 to 2 weeks. And then I pay my credit card off. So it's like I'm not getting any interest, and I'm getting a lot of points every single week that converts into dining, travel, whatever I want it to be. Credit cards can be an amazing thing for you as well if you know how to be responsible with them.
Whatsoever, pay it off ASAP. The next
my
money
throat
tip
hurts.
in order to become
Pause.
a millionaire is invest in self-education. Now listen, I don't care if it's a
Number
book,
one thing
if
right
it's a
here.
seminar,
This is
an
the number one
online
thing.
program, whatever it is. The way that I look at it is, let's say you spend $100. Let's say you spend $1,000. Let's say you spend even $10,000. Do you believe that if you even learn one thing from it, your capacity and your ability to earn income over the space of the next year, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, 30 years will increase because of it? Let's say you want to learn one very specific skill that could help your career or your job, and there's an online course and it's $150. Do you think that that $150, let's break it up over the space of the next 1 year, do you think that that $13 or whatever it is monthly for the space of the next year would help you make more than $13 a month, or increase your chances of getting a 5%, 10%, 30% pay increase, once again, if you're at the right company? Do you think that that little $150 course...
Sorry to pause it, but people get so like weird about a $150 course, $500 course, $1,000 course. Look how much money you spend at Starbucks in the next 2 to 3 months. It's going to be way more than that $150 course. And what do you think is more valuable? A cup of coffee in the morning or your education and be able to grow yourself? Like, when you look at it like that, it's really not that bad. I've dropped tens of thousands of dollars on courses before, and I've got an amazing return off of it. Self-education is very important, and investing in it, everybody just wants free information. And sure, YouTube University is great. You can pretty much learn every single thing off the internet, but in that course, you're paying for that time variable. I may be able to find out all the information Iman Gadzhi has on starting an agency company. I don't plan on starting an agency company, but I'd rather just learn from him because he had several years of experience, and he could tell me all the do's and don'ts right there in a 2-hour, 3-hour sit-down course. That, like, I'm not paying for the information. I am paying for the information, but I'm also paying for all that experience as well. Like, it is 100% worth it. Guys, invest in self-education. That bank account he told you guys to open, like, if you're putting $10 a month in there, $30 a month. I used to have an education account when I was a W-2 worker. 10% of my check, let's just say it was $2,000 a month, $200 a month would go into that self-education. The only thing that got spent in that account was anything towards self-education. If that was spending $200 on 20 books or 10 books to read, if that's spending money on a course, but I had to use that money towards myself. And when you break up the check before you even receive it, you don't even notice that it's gone. And you're going to realize, like, dang, I have $400 that I have to spend on myself for my brain. it makes it a lot easier. And this is your most important asset. Like, not everybody's 6'8", like LeBron, and built and can go to the league and make $60 million a year off his body. Not everybody's built like that. But everybody has pretty much the same brain that you can grow and turn into a supercomputer. Like, this is our equal playing field right here. And if you can grow it like nobody else, you're going to be successful.
Course did. By the way, you saved money on because you didn't go out drinking that month. You committed that you're going to become a person of value. You're going to become a person who can earn more money because they bring more value to the market, whether that be through a business, solopreneur, through a career, whatever it is you choose. Sit there and ask yourself, do you back yourself? Because I believe when it comes to investing in yourself and investing in education, the simple fact of the matter is, do you believe that you are the sort of person that could get this information and make more money from it? I believe that the decision to invest in your education has far more to do with, do you believe in yourself than do you believe in the product, the program, the book, the event, the seminar, whatever it is. I think investing in self-education really comes down to you versus you. Do you back yourself? Do you believe in yourself? Now, the last and final tip to become a millionaire is increase the percentages that you invest. So listen, if you are getting by paycheck to paycheck, I don't want you to invest 50% of everything you make. But as time goes on, I want you to increase the percentage of your income that you invest. I believe that especially in your early 20s, you should be investing 70% of everything you make. As you get into your mid-20s, I believe 60%. As you get into your late 20s, 50% of everything you make. Because listen, I believe in enjoying life, but I also believe in being responsible and setting yourself up for the future. That's been my philosophy. I don't want to be one of these people that has made egregious amounts of money and lost it all, but I also don't want to be one of these penny pinchers that makes all of this money and still lives like frugal. And I personally just find it very off-putting. You know, these people that think so small, you know, I have to hoard all this money. I can't spend any of it. How could I? Right? So you don't.
Yeah, this is kind of where I'm stuck at too. Like, even all the success we have in business, me and all my business partners live very frugal. I literally still spend $1,000 a month on rent. Like, I don't live in a luxury downtown high rise, nor would I would, because I don't like heights. But that's not the point. I like what Tristan Tate said. You should treat 50% of your money like you're going to live the next 50 years. And you should treat the other 50% of your money like you're going to live the next 50 days. And because it's like, you could make $100 million and die the next day. And you're like, what was the $100 million for? Maybe other than passing it down to your family. But for you, it's like, you didn't get to enjoy it. I'm still working on trying to find a happy medium of working very hard and also enjoying the fruits of my labor as well. Because at the end of the day, there's no point of doing any of this if you're not going to enjoy life. You might as well just be broke and enjoy life at that point.
You don't want to be either of these people. So once you get to a position where, let's say you're making $5,000 a month, $6,000 a month, $10,000 a month, maybe $20,000, $30,000 a month. I know these might sound like crazy numbers to you right now, but just mentally put that to the side. All right. I'm not saying you need to make it today, but I know this might seem scary to you. I know it might seem impossible, but just mentally park those sort of numbers. Just understand that if you get to that point where you're earning this sort of income, once you start earning it, I want you to increase the percentage of your income that you're investing, because the true financial goal is to eventually get to a place where you are living fully off of your dividends. You're living fully off your investment.
That's the goal right there.
If you stop making money tomorrow, you will always be fine. So ladies and gentlemen, there are 7 money tips to become a millionaire. Please implement every single one of these ASAP and understand this is going to be a process that's not going to happen overnight.
I feel like if you implement all these, this is definitely a great start. Yeah, I don't know about the coffee part. Definitely stop drinking, stop smoking weed, stop vaping. Don't invest any money in that. Yeah, all these are pretty good. Even the coffee one, but I don't think it's necessary.
Overnight. But while saying that, there's no such thing as get rich quick. There's simply get rich quicker. So focus on increasing the...
That's a good one too. There's no such thing as get rich quick, just get rich quicker. Like, too many people text me, how can I make my first 20K in wholesale in 2 weeks? Like, I'm like, bro, why do you even want it that quick? Like, or they'll be like, what's the easiest way to get a deal? I'm like, bro, why are you even asking the easiest way to get a deal? Like, it just sounds like you're being lazy. Like, I get that you're trying to look for the most efficient way, but the way you're just putting it, it's kind of just giving me the vibe that you're like lazy, you know, like I don't want to work. Like, what's the easiest way and the less work I could do to get my first deal? Like, you should want to work 16 hours a day. You should want to literally grind 7 days a week, 16 hours a day for months to get your first deal. That's what I did. Like, if you had the mindset of, oh, you want to allocate 30 minutes a day here and then try to make 20K a month, and then they get mad and call it a scam when it doesn't work. Bruh, now you got to put the time in. There's no such thing as get rich quick. Like Iman said, it's get rich quicker. That's it. All right, y'all, that's the video. I think I'm going to call it for the day. And we'll react to some more videos tomorrow or something. But peace.